Here we go. That's a shout out for Mario and Luigi movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I just wanted to do it because it came to me. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the NBA Hardwood Show, playoff edition. I'm your host again at 9 a.m. JSU, and we got my man Big T up and out of bed. Actually, Big T was up at like 4 in the morning because I was getting texts from him, actually. So Big T, I saw people in chat like, is he going to be ready for the 9 a.m. show? You were in the chat, I guess, answering messages then. Like, what were you doing all night? Did you sleep ever?
Yeah, I mean, I went to sleep about 2. And I just woke up at like 4:30 when I texted you, and I was just laying there, and I just got up and started getting some stuff done. I was gonna either lay there. I wasn't gonna go back to sleep. It was one of those things. I was thinking about some stuff. And rather than just lay there and watch TV or whatever, I just got up and got a few things done. get ready for the day. And yeah, I did enjoy the comments though when we were late. We were just sitting here registering for the tournaments and different things, and that some of the comments in there were pretty good. They're in church watching women's gymnastic highlights. I mean, there's a few good ones in there.
Watching women's gymnastic highlights. Was that a homage to JSU?
I think it was directed at you on that one, actually. It said, where was it? Somewhere in there. Yeah, where the hell's that LG? In the same comment. Where is it? Right here.
Yeah. K Reed. Get out of here, K Reed. Stop that. All right, whatever. It's fine. Yeah, guys, make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button at the bottom right, ring that bell. All right, get subscribed to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the site too, Run Pure Sports. We got all the premium content. We got it for the NBA playoffs today, baby. We got Big T's player pool. It's going to be up there later today. You got the playbook. You got the core plays from all of us, me, Tony, AP, Bobby H has been on fire. He's been dropping like showdown cores in the chat too, just all that stuff. Make sure you check it out, Mangone's 3-max strategy, where he goes through his whole strategy, how he goes about attacking the 3-max. Make sure, get over there, check it out, try it out. Try it out for a week, a month, whatever you want to do. I don't know if code Big T is still available. If it's
44.
Not, Big T 44. Get you 44% off if it's still available.
Give it a try. I don't know if it is either, but it might be.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's actually a decent chance it still works because I don't think I ever said to like turn it off. So yeah, if you want to sign up today, yeah, 44% probably still works. Big T 44.
There you go. And we got my guy Jonathan Knowlton in chat. He said, appreciate picking me yesterday for the RPS swag, JSU. You're welcome. Make sure you hit up Amber Niehaus. Tony,
he got a bunch of stuff sitting in front of the front door. He might have got in there yesterday. I don't know. I don't know if it's his. I can't guarantee that because I didn't look, but she does got about 4 or 5 boxes sitting in front of the front door. Some good stuff going out.
Well, maybe it might be your turn today to pick someone for some swag. I don't know. You'll have to think of something for them to do. But, you know, who knows, mate? We'll see. We'll see throughout the show.
Giving out this swag.
Yeah, why not? You're welcome, though, Jonathan. I did say, too, Tony, I mean, it wasn't Mangone made fun of my Twitter. I picked up like 15 Twitter followers. So thank you for anyone.
You mean you picked up followers by actually promoting something?
I did, yes. And
amazing how that works. I'm for one of Tony.
I sent the tweet yesterday. I tweeted about UFC for the first time ever in Twitter history.
How did it feel? Did it feel good, like sending it?
It felt weird, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I used to
go in there and like actually typing something that's happening.
Yeah, no, I did. But you know what? It was worth it because by far the worst ruling in UFC history was
that's just another week in the MMA. We're used to that by now. The MMA is.
I mean, the girl laid on the other girl for 8 minutes, just absolutely dominated her on the mat. And somehow 2 of 3 judges gave 2 of the 3 rounds to the chick that got dominated. It was just amazing. I have no idea what happened.
Something's just got to be done about that stuff. I don't know what the answer is. I don't claim, but like. Even if there was like a scoreboard or something, I know you probably can't do that, but if there's a scoreboard where they have to put it in after each round to where you could at least like hold them accountable a little bit with what's going on. Because I mean, it's just insane.
Even the commentators were trying to hold back when the ruling hit, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
They were like, that's just – and you don't see that really in the UFC. You'll see them be like, oh, that's surprising. No, they were like, that was awful. Like they literally just like absolutely shit on the judge. So I love
it happens every freaking week. That one was bad, but like something in the MMA and I love the MMA. We both do. I've had decent success. We've played a bunch of slates, but it is tilting, man. When they get, it's so bad when like it starts and there's that many fights, 14 yesterday, I think, and you're just praying there isn't a late scratch that kills you or the judges don't. You're never just rooting on your people. You're always worried about all the outside elements.
Yep, for sure.
And yes, I am still tilted about that time when I freaking the late swap screwed me.
He'll
never getting over
let that down. He'll never live it down. Never bring back late swap DraftKings. I don't care what you do because you just can't do it. You guys can't figure out how to do it. So big
musical one. What do you want? What do you want? What kind of swag?
Oh, they just got to ask. Is that?
I don't know. I wanted to see what they wanted, so I was curious. Maybe.
Yeah, you got to be specific with Tony. So, like, you want a hat? Do you want like one of these sweatshirts? It's a sweatshirt. I don't know if Tony's got like a T-shirt on, but no, he's got a DraftKings T-shirt on. He's got the polo on. Okay, but what are you going golfing after this?
Try to go play later today. Not for a while. Probably afternoon, maybe today.
Who lives better than Big T? I mean, God, you just
a lot of people
golfing later.
I got news for you. A lot of people live better.
All right, whatever. I mean, it's fine. Tony, takeaways from the playoffs yesterday. I mean, 4 games. One game with the Celtics was just kind of – it was out before it even started, really. It was just over kind of like right when the ball tipped. Celtics were ahead by 20 and the game was over. But the other games, the Cavs-Knicks game, I thought big surprise there. The Cavs have no bench. The Knicks do have good players off the bench. I think that's going to be a key in the series. And then the Golden State and Kings game was a really, really fun game. Our guy Malik Monk, what I tell you before, he's got the schlong the size of Kentucky. I mean, the man is
it
just
shaped like that too, like what Kentucky looks like?
I don't know what Kentucky looks like, so I can't do it. I'm not good with that stuff, so I don't know. But maybe, you never know. What'd you take away though from yesterday's games?
Yeah, I mean, the best game obviously was the night game, but just going in order, the Sixers, not a ton surprised me in that one. Harden, we said Harden was the one guy in that game, and he was the good guy in that game. A few of the Nets guys let me down a little bit. I mean, Bridges. I mean, I like Cam Johnson, but again, he only got 27 minutes. So kind of that was a take that we were wrong on. I ended up coring him. I liked him, and he played good, I felt like, on top of it. He still only got 27 minutes, though, so.
He didn't kill you. What's surprising is he didn't kill you with 27.
Yeah, it was just disappointing, though. Not as far as the optimal or anything, because that was the first game, and I mean he was different than those guys with 27 that were 5,500. I just wanted him to play more. The whole reason that I liked your point and I agreed with you, so we were both wrong on that. I just thought he'd play 35 minutes or something, and he just didn't. Like, if you knew he was going to play 27, you're never paying $6,400 for him. So if he's that price again next game, I just gotta.
We have to assume though that he lost some run, right? Like some of these guys lost a little bit of run.
I'm just like looking at their rotations though and stuff, and I don't know. Like, what are we doing playing Joe Harris 14 minutes? I mean, Finney Smith kind of sucks on this team. They should have played him more.
Royce O'Neal and Finney Smith are like the same player.
Yeah, literally. And they played they basically played 48 minutes between the two of them, though, so they didn't really eat into him as much. I don't know. But point being, I don't know where the minute he needs to play more than that. That was disappointing. But the Sixers, for a person that hates the Sixers, they did look good yesterday, but it was just because the shots went in. I mean, when the shots go in, you're going to look good. When they miss those threes, it won't be as good. But, I mean, PJ Tucker always is going to be a good – we made fun of his price, and honestly, he got there, 28.75 DK points. I don't know. He's a playoff guy. Just like we'll talk about a few guys again today that are going to be better in the playoffs. So
you are
I was
not
impressed
playing
there.
PJ Tucker at 5K.
I was never going to do it, but
yeah,
those are the guys in the playoffs, though, that they're going to spring up and hit some optimals as we go through this next 2 months where you're not going to want to play them, but the dude just knows how to play playoff basketball. So like that, Celtics, like you said, look great. The Hawks made a little push at the end, but none of the Hawks got there. Bogdan, like we talked about yesterday, mid-range play that I liked, got there. No one else, though. Hunter was bad. Actually, Jalen Johnson, all things considered, pretty good call there on Jalen Johnson because didn't crush, but got 17. I mean, if you told me yesterday morning that he gets 17 fantasy points, I'd have played him for sure, just the way that slate set up. So pretty good. DeJounte got all of his in scrub time for the most, not all of his, but he stacked his stats up in scrub time. And then the Celtics were what we thought. Like, they just looked good. All of them, too, all the way down. I guess Brogdon only played 21 minutes, but everyone else pretty much what we thought. Next game, you already talked about it. Veteran-type team versus a young team. Nobody crushed. All snowflakes on the Knicks side besides Josh Hart, who barely got to value. And Josh Hart was amazing and still barely got to value. That's how bad the pricing was. So no one was even close. I mean, Brunson 36, Randall 42. Yeah, even Mitch Rob at 7K only got 20. And they played more guys minutes than I thought. I mean, Quickly played 24. Obi even played 14. Hartenstein 22. I mean, they played more deeper than I thought. I mean, their studs only played, like Brunson only played 30 minutes. That's kind of surprising to me in the playoffs, honestly. But it shows you game one. We always talk about that. Game one's always a feel-out game, so that could have been a little bit there. The minutes might get extended for the Knicks as it tightens up. And then the Cavs, I think we were basically dead. This might have been the team we were the most right about anyone yesterday. We said Spida in the playoffs. Garland was going to hit all the optimizers, and honestly, he was the one I bumped down the most yesterday because of the reasons.
What did he end up? What he?
I mean, 27. He was dead basically.
So Dinwiddie outscored him still.
Dinwiddie
had 30.
Had to have. At least they outscored him by a little. That neither one of them was going to be good for you yesterday.
No, but I'm still saying like one was getting pushed ahead of another.
Garland was going to hit every optimizer, and that was my strongest take. Honestly, just when I was building my teams, I just literally cranked him down. Like, he was projected for 40 most places. I literally took him down to like 32. So it was pretty close there. And we were all over Spida. So I didn't play Spida, though. I probably should have. When I was lowering Garland like that, that's what I need to get better at. And when I've been a little cold recently, little stuff like that. So I lower Garland a ton. Why did I not bump Spida a ton? And
especially because our take was Spida's going to try and take over in the playoffs, which will hurt Garland. And you saw it too, like the assist numbers weren't there like they've been. That was one thing that hurt him, like Garland in general. He got there a lot because of stocks too. Didn't he have like 4 stocks? I think too was the other thing. Like,
I know
he had like 3 steals.
Hubie Brown was stroking off to him for like half the game now. Just loving him. And Jared Allen, we said Jared Allen is one of the guys that looked too cheap. He got there. So we were definitely right about that game. And then the Kings-Warriors played out pretty much how I thought it would. I thought Golden State would probably win, but I thought they'd win more of the series than just that game. Game one, that crowd was electric. I tweeted out that it reminded me of that Lakers Kings back in the day with White Chocolate and C-Webb and Stojakovic. That Kings team was fun, but that place was absolutely electric last night. And Fox was just ridiculous in that second half. Every shot he shot was like on an angle and just dead nut right in the net. I mean, just so good. And Monk was just as good as him. I mean, as good in his own way. He, like you said, 32 points, 38 fantasy. Definitely wrong about Sabonis. I thought Sabonis would do better, but in a way, we were kind of right there too, because a few of those post-ups, It literally reminded me of Jokic. Draymond was mauling him. And those of you that have followed us for a while, remember how hard I was tilting last year in the playoffs with how Draymond was guarding Jokic? And it wasn't because of Jokic, even though everyone thought it was because I was whining about my Nuggets. It's because they let Draymond literally just bag a guy.
We got to remember this, though. They let this happen in the playoffs.
It's crazy.
And they give Draymond a long-ass leash. For whatever reason, like a long-ass leash. So, I mean
two of those post-ups, he literally like shoved him and then got no call. It was just, but so maybe again, there's where, so we do the show and talk about it, and I still play Sabonis a decent amount. Like I knew that they would guard him like that. Why would I play him like that? So even though we say it, we still gotta put it into action, and that's kind of how, honestly, when you're rolling good and you're picking a lot of winners and you're shipping tournaments, you kind of put all those little tidbits into your builds, and it works out. And when it's not going that way, you kind of just go right through that stuff. And
the other thing we said was kind of like the mid-tier build, right? And how like
mid-tier build was right for sure.
And how it's tough to get up to those 10K plus guys. Even though we liked certain guys, right? It was just going to be tough in general to get up.
We're going to like all the studs for the most part. Yeah.
And we saw that. There was one 9K guy in the winner with a bunch of mid-tier plays. It was just a bunch of mid-tier plays, and that was the winner. So I don't know the exact optimal. I know it won the $15 or $20 on DraftKings, which was one 9K guy, 3 Boston mid-tier plays. I think Smart, White, Horford. And then, from there it was like Monk and a couple other, 5K guys. But that wasn't the optimal, because I think the optimal would have had Donnie Mitch. I think it would have had maybe Trey Lyles and one or two other guys that weren't on it, but still, that was the build.
Yeah, the point was definitely right.
Landa, my red RPS camouflage hat flew off. Uh-oh, no.
We got to get you a new one, Landa.
Oh, yeah. We'll don't worry, Landa. We'll get you a new one.
Send Amber your info. I'll make sure she sends you one, Landa. We got to get our boy Landa recouped. Yeah, you got to tighten that thing down when you're out on the boat.
Yep. Absolutely. Or maybe you just can't bring it up. It's too precious. You got to wear something else when
you're wear one of those old RG hats you got. Like let them flow into the ocean, Landa.
There you go. There's something there.
Get our boy Gio. Get some gear from Gio. Let his gear go into the ocean.
All right. Anything else here with the games? I thought that was a good breakdown, Tony. I think that was perfect. Taking it to today's slate, exact same type of slate, 4 games. Draymond is the only guy in the league that can get in the ref's face. No.
Yeah, that's what I was leading into. He's not though. A lot of the marquee players could do that.
Correct. And I think this is something that's wrong in the NBA, and they need to fix it. But I've seen Luka get in the ref's face so many times. I've seen LeBron do it. I've seen all like the star players pretty much get in the ref's face. Draymond's very, what's the word? Like demonstrative. Like he does this stupid antics that I can't stand, but we see it all the time. I think that's the stuff that needs to just be an automatic.
I actually go the other way pretty hard on this. I like them being able to.
Time out. So you will let them like stomp and stare at them and clap and tell them to fuck off? Like, you think that's okay?
I mean, at a certain point, words definitely would put me over the top. If they're like literally saying F you to them, like, they're not saying that though. They're yelling about the call,
screaming, and they're hitting their fists. What do you think they're saying?
I'm okay with that because I like the emotion, and as a player, I always like to chirp the refs too, and I like the back and forth. I like them be like, "Oh, you know what, Draymond, I might have missed that one." Blah blah blah. You can always take it too far, and taunting's the same way too. I don't want to get on the soapbox with this, but I always send the tweet like unless they literally pull out the cock and like start waving it in the person's face. There should never be a taunting penalty or foul or anything. You should be able to. It's grown man sport. You should be able to say whatever you want.
The taunting is different because
in a
that
way.
is player to player. I'm totally fine with player to
Refs
player.
don't need to be sensitive though. Like, what are we teeing them up for?
When they get okay. I'm fine with you saying something to the ref or whatever, and then you just move on. When you literally get in their face and you're screaming and pointing at them, come on, Tony. That's ridiculous.
What are we teeing them up for though? What's the point?
I mean, you shouldn't be doing that.
Why though? What does it hurt? It doesn't hurt anything though.
Well, it doesn't hurt anything.
What, does it hurt their feelings? I can't believe you're on this side. You're the least sensitive person ever, and all of a sudden you're worried about the refs' feelings?
I'm not worried about the refs' feelings. I think it looks ridiculous, though, when the refs are supposed to be in charge and the players are just literally showing them up to the point where it's like, screw it.
I said there's a point for sure, but some of the times when Draymond's yelling, like I truly am okay with it, unless he's literally like saying "F you."
I'm fine with him
if
yelling.
He's just talking about the calls and he's saying that's a terrible call, Bob.
That's different.
That's a terrible call, and screaming at him though. But saying in that, like I don't think. And there's always a point too where the ref needs to be like, okay, Draymond, I got it. Calm down. If he keeps going, then you tee him up. Like,
yeah,
I'm just saying fine. That I like a little more. Yeah, everyone's against you here. I can't believe this. This is the upset of all time that you're on this side. I thought for sure you'd be on my side.
We're definitely on different sides of what we're talking about here, because I'm literally talking about a guy running up to the ref and getting in his face.
I mean,
like you can yell at the ref. That's different. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. The refs just ignore them like that. That's a good ref. And you know who the worst refs, just from playing through college, like the worst refs are the sensitive ones. The ones that like you say anything and they're just those are the ones I just never got along with.
Yeah, those are the worst refs, but that would never happen.
What do they call it? Like rabbit ears? Or what's that saying? Rabbit ears, where they just hear everything? Like I've watched one girls' game in my life, and it was because the chick, Caitlin Clark, was in there this year. And those refs in that title were so terrible. They heard everything. Anytime anybody said anything, she tossed the ball underneath the hoop the one time they teed her up. Like,
yeah, we're not talking about the same thing if you're talking about stuff like that, though. That's egregious.
Huh?
That stuff is egregious. We're not talking about the same thing.
And on top, and I don't know how I got on the girls' game, but it's because the first time, and I guarantee you, I've never watched that stuff. I guarantee it had a whole new audience just because of that chick. And that was everybody's first experience, is these three refs just calling everything in the game. It's just egregious.
By the way, there's some people in the chat that are with me about just like
it's always the old school people though, like the Uncle T's.
But you can yell at the refs, like say that's a bad call. That's a horrible call. You can say that. That's fine.
As loud as you want.
Make it a point to, instead of running down the floor, run to the ref after a call and scream at them in their face as the game.
You're taking it to the extreme here. Get us to the game. We can't talk about this any longer.
Okay, watch Luka Doncic. Watch Luka Doncic and tell me you don't see that almost nightly. I'll tell you right now, you see it almost.
The man has the most him and Draymond have the most technicals in basketball. Is the funny thing. So what you're saying, when they cross the line, they get more tees than anybody.
What's funny though, Tony, is you put Luka and Draymond. Like those are the two people. Like we're talking the stars.
They have the most technicals,
and we're talking about Luka and Draymond.
And like Rashid always would do it back in the day. He had the most technicals. So all the people that do it do get the most technicals, but they get the most rope too.
I'll tell you right now, no way Sheed wasn't swearing at them the whole game.
He got a lot of technicals.
Yeah. Did you hear KG's story with Joakim Noah?
Yeah, all those stories were good.
I love all these new podcasts with these players. Keep doing it. You bring them on. Like those are the best right there. I want to hear about how KG called Joakim Noah a friggin' bitch or say get off my dick or whatever he says. Like it was just hilarious. Like.
I wish we could play that Uncle T soundbite from the booth that I played you on the way back, where he was yelling at the refs from the radio booth.
Oh, can we do
it?
It
would be perfect right now if I knew how to play it over the StreamYard. People would be dying laughing.
We need to do it as like an outro, Tony.
Yeah.
We need to get Helmet to get us like the outro. Do that. Yeah, well, that would be great. Shout out Uncle T. Love Uncle T, but man, Tony's got a good soundbite on Uncle T that Maybe we'll release. You never know.
Yeah.
We'll see it. We might release it. But all right, 35 minutes of us yapping
Michael
for 30
Hacker.
minutes.
This is what JSU supports right here. Not many jobs where you're expected to hold your tongue and not. I mean, come on. This is my point. This is why JSU's point's bad, because Michael Hacker has a bad point too.
What's his
That's
point?
not a normal job. First of all, you're reffing freaking dudes that are making $50 million a year. Like, what are we talking? You're not going to your 9 to 5 at work and yelling at your boss. Like, that's a totally different thing.
No,
actually, I'm not sidebacking us.
You know why they're not? You know why they're not going to their 9 to 5 job yelling at their boss? Because they need the money.
Of course.
If they were millionaires, trust me, they'd be yelling more at that 9 to 5 job. Like it just goes back to your point, though. These guys don't give a shit about the refs. They don't care, and it's to the point now. It's gotten past the point of just yelling at them and moving on.
No other sport puts up with it. What about football, where hold on, where's this dude at? Stephen Roche. No other sport puts up. Football, the coaches will assault the freaking refs on the sideline and get no penalty. So that is 1,000,000% not true, Stephen Roche.
Okay, now this is where I'm fine with it. The coaches should be allowed to scream at the refs. I'm good with the coaches.
The coaches should be able to.
Yes, I'm good with the coaches.
That makes perfect sense. The coaches should, just not the players.
Because they're not playing. They don't stop playing to yell at the refs. They're not in the game. Like, it drives me nuts when I watch Luka and it's 4-on-5 on defense and Luka's still at half court screaming at someone. It drives me freaking insane.
If you're under 410 or over 45, you're on the ASU side.
You know, VIP.
Over 45. What is over 45?
It always comes back to the height with you, VIP. It always comes. You're a very insecure guy. I can tell. I can tell by the way you talk. You're just a very insecure guy. It's okay if you're 5'8". You know, you're right in that middle range or something like that. VIP. You're not super tall. You're not
baseball
super short.
Boss Bro's right about a lot today. Baseball umps are the most sensitive of all. You can't even talk about the strike zone, or you're getting.
By the way, Germán should have been thrown out. Can I just say that? You see that thing where they caught his hands? He had the stuff on it.
That stuff was filthy. I know that.
Yeah, bullshit. In the rules. Toss the dude and be done with it. I don't blame the manager for getting mad, but all right, whatever. You know, it's fine. Let's move on. We could argue about this for 2 more hours. So, Lakers, Memphis, game 1 here, and this is for DFS. Anyways, I think this is one of those games where I'm more excited to watch the game as just a fan of the NBA. But for DFS, I don't think I have much to say. I mean, let's pull up the pricing here. So we got AD and LeBron. They're priced correctly, I think. 10-9, 10-7. Those are correct. John Morant, 10-1. That's fair. Let's move past that, though, because those are all correct pricing. There's no one that's I think is egregiously priced. Jaren Jackson is 9-6. Now we're getting into Knicks territory here.
That's Knicks territory. That's its own planet.
Desmond Bane is 8-6. What the hell are we doing here with these guys? So those guys are out for sure. Then you got
Desmond Bane's at least closer though. 9-6 for Jaren. Bane should be 7,800 and he's 8,600. Jaren Jackson should be 7,400 and he's 9,600.
No, Jaren Jackson should be 78 and Bane should be 76.
Even the lower guys are crazy. Tyus Jones is 6K. What are we doing? Dylan Brooks is 6,100 and he's going to play defense the whole game.
Correct. He might be. Well, actually, Dylan Brooks is one of those guys. I was going to say he might be in foul trouble the whole game, but for the playoffs, it actually helps him the way he plays because they might not call as much. So, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, I think this is just D-Russ at 6'8". He has upside at 6'8". The problem is, it's the playoffs, and you know what's going to happen. LeBron, AD, they're going to be the focus point. Maybe D-Russ could get there. I can't pay 6'3" for Austin Reeves, even though he's been unbelievable. I don't know, Tony. Do you see anything in this Lakers, Memphis pricing that you're I could mess with, like maybe Tillman at 5.2. You could argue Rui at 4.3. I think they closed with him in that overtime game against Memphis. So, maybe there's some upside there at 4.3, but he's not really a ceiling guy. You're just hoping to get like 23 from him, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a ceiling slate again for the most part. It's similar to yesterday where you just got to figure out. I do think, like, from the Memphis side, you said it, I don't see any prices that even Ja, I mean, sure, he's fine. The studs are all priced fairly. It's just a matter of if you can get them. But the rest, I can't. I mean, Tillman's fine in that 5,200, similar to the Boston guys yesterday. Kennard is at least offensive wise. I mean, he's 5,500. I think he's a terrible play, but I wouldn't be totally shocked if he got hot shooting or something and got you like 25 or something. But I don't like those guys. The Lakers guys are more interesting just because there's unknowns with them. And I just keep wanting to play Beasley. Granted, it hasn't gone in the playoffs, but he's 4,200. You just look at how the games go, and it's so game dependent with him, and probably if he's making shots too, where he could play 10 minutes or 30 minutes. I really think that it's that wide for him, depending on how he's playing and how the game's going, if they need offense. I still think games like this series could go smaller for sure with the way these teams play. So, like, Rui's 4,300, Beasley's 4,200, Vanderbilt's 4,700, and Schroeder, even for that matter, is 5K. I think all of those guys are at least a little bit in play just because of the pricing, and I do think one or two of those guys will crush. The hard part is which ones, because you don't for sure know who's going to get the run. I seen you put the message up about Schroeder. Yeah, last game D'Lo got benched for Schroeder. But it was because Schroeder was just playing really good and D'Lo was struggling from the beginning of the game. But again, you just don't know with this Lakers team. You know for sure LeBron, AD, and even Austin Reeves is kind of – his minutes have stabilized a little bit because of how good he's been. 39, 34, 31, 31, 42. So I do feel like those three play 100% their minutes. D'Lo probably plays his minutes as long as he's playing good and these other guys aren't hot. But all those cheap role guys, I think are pretty good plays. I'm just going to keep playing Beasley. I know he's going to win me something through the playoffs. He's going to have a game where he gets hot at this price point. And again, the 4,200 just isn't going to hurt you that bad on this pricing. I mean, yeah, if he plays 10 minutes, you're not going to like it. But if he gets up to 24 minutes or something and hits some shots, he could help you fill out this roster in a big way. Bobby in chat, Reeves has a nice price on FanDuel. How much is he on FanDuel?
So while you look at his FanDuel price, I'll just say this. This is my problem with Beasley. He's got to contend with Reeves, who it really feels like they want him out there. I think LeBron likes him. I think this coaching staff is definitely super comfortable with running him big minutes. And then you got Schroeder and D'Lo. And it feels like, Tony, if D'Lo's having a bad game, well, they have no problem. Obviously, Schroeder's a veteran. He's been he's been there. So one of those two is on the floor with Reeves. That's the problem with Beasley. And the only way you think Beasley maybe gets more minutes is if he's hitting shots and they go small. Instead of playing Rui or Jared Vanderbilt, they go away from the big lineup and they go completely small. So is that what you're saying could happen?
I mean, as you talk more through it too, it could be something later in the series that we have an angle more than today, because game ones are feel outs. And just as you were saying it, like breaking it down, I think you can just kind of put them in buckets because AD doesn't want to play the 5. So just assume that Rui or Vanderbilt plays the 5. Assume that D'Lo and Schroeder kind of play that one when LeBron's not handling the either way, like the lead guard, and then Reeves and Beasley, they're all directly correlated with each other. So, I mean, it's a good point. Maybe later in the series will be a Beasley spot, but that price I still don't mind. And who knows? Maybe Reeves just gets in foul trouble or something.
Or like maybe they can't hit a shot, Tony. Maybe they can't hit a shot. Beasley gets in there. he strokes 2 or 3 in a row, and
Reeves just looks like
there.
he's got the it factor too, which makes it tough on Beasley because I don't see a way they're not just rolling with Reeves. Like LeBron and AD even love Reeves, so.
I'm honestly a big fan of Reeves. Maybe I play him more on FanDuel because of the price. What was the price tag?
5,100 on FanDuel is really nice.
Yeah, that is nice. So yeah, maybe I play him over there. But yeah, I mean, the Lakers to me, it seems like this game in general, it's the mid-tier down where we're going to be interested. I think AD could crush. I don't know if I'm going to play him, though, because, one, we have another slate with bad value. Two, there's 2 studs we're going to get to later that you can make the case are just 2 of the best overall players in, DFS, in Jokic and Giannis. But that could keep AD's ownership down. So, there's 2 sides to the coin. What are you doing here with the like AD LeBron? Is it something where you're going to play a little bit, or are you going to kind of stay away from them with the lack of value?
I haven't been playing 150 yet on these slates, so I only have a couple teams. I doubt I get there. I just get frustrated with AD because he goes long stretches where they just don't really utilize him, and he's not the type of guy that goes and demands the ball. It just hasn't. I can't see myself going up for 10-9 when you have Giannis, Jokic, stars like Kawhi, even stars later that Cat. I can't see myself using these guys outside of just like in the optimizer. You're playing 20 or 150. I would definitely still have them in that. But if you're playing 3 teams or something, I would not get to them today.
Yeah, and if you want to get exactly who Tony's on, he has his player pool. It's all set up by positions. His core plays underneath it. That's a premium sheet over at Rumpier Sports. You can check it out. Try promo code Big T44. If it doesn't work, then you can use the Bobby 15 code. What I think it's Bobby 15 is the other code. So check that out. There you go, Bob. I see him in chat, so I might as well shout his code out. If one code doesn't work, the other one will work. So try one of those 2 codes. Check out all the premium content we got over there. And it's not just NBA, right? We got MLB winners. We have a show later today, MLB, 12 p.m. Today with Holden, Uncle Dunkle, Joey Work, who gave out a bunch of winners yesterday for UFC and baseball. I saw that. Shout out to Joey Work.
That new MMA article, I think, made like 3 or 4 units too yesterday. The bedside crushed yesterday.
Yeah, we got a new guy doing a new article every week for MMA. It was a really, really good read. If you like that stuff, you want to check that out too. Another piece of content we got over at Rumpier Sports. So many things. It's hard to remember as you're trying to do a little quick.
Too many activities.
Yeah, too many activities here. But Tony, I love your tweet. You just go, and this is definitely a shot at me that no one realizes it, but you just tweet out, still chatting NBA with my guy JSU on Twitter. We're only through 1 game. And we're 40 minutes in.
Welcome to the playoffs, people.
Don't you dare tell me that wasn't a direct shot at me. It actually wasn't,
but it can be if you want it to be.
Oh, that was chat. That was definitely an indirect shot at JSU right there. We all know it. All right, let's move it to game 2, which I think game 2 is going to be like game 2 of yesterday, Tony. Pretty sure the Boston was game 2. This kind of feels that way with how bad Miami has looked. And they got Milwaukee now. And Milwaukee, we can all agree. I mean, some people say they're the best team in the East, second best team, whatever it is. They're one of the best teams in the entire NBA. Games in Milwaukee, Miami's kind of not looked very great. I think the problem with Miami is Jimmy is fine, but he hasn't looked yet like the Jimmy that we saw in the playoffs last year. So they need one of these other guys like a Bam, Hero, Kyle Lowry to step up and have a huge game. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, Bam, he was fine. He had 37 fantasy points last game, 7,700. Like that's fine. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Is it a Hero game, Tony? Like Hero looks like he's priced where you could play him at 6,700. What are we doing here with Milwaukee and Miami?
So I actually think Miami. So I didn't like Miami in the play-in stuff. Didn't even the game they won I didn't like, but I actually feel decent about their matchup versus Milwaukee. I think they stretched this series a little bit, and I just think they match up pretty good with Milwaukee. They got bodies they can put on Giannis. Mainly, I mean Bam by saying bodies. As long as Bam can, he's one of the better big defenders, and he's always done a really good job on Giannis. Again, not saying he's going to shut him down by any means, but I think they match up somewhat decent in this spot. And the key for Miami, as always in these playoffs, is just that this pricing isn't bad for them, where some of the other teams, you can argue the pricing's terrible. At least the prices are fair in this game. 8,800 for Jimmy, 77 for Bam, 67 for Hero, not paying 5,600 for Lowry. We had our fun with him the first game. Struce, 4,800.
He blew his load on game one of the play-in.
I mean, if he was back at 4K again, I'd play him again, though. I'll tell you that much. I'm just not – 5,600, no way. But Struce, we just watched him get hot. I mean, Caleb Martin still at least – could have a game in this series because of his price at 49. I don't like him that much, but you could make a case for him at 49. And even like Love, I know that it might not be game one we see it, but the dude's 4K. I just think he's the type of veteran guy in the playoffs that one of these games in this series, he's going to hit some shots. He did hit a big shot in the last game to get him over the top. He hit that big three, but I wouldn't be totally stunned if we see a K-Love game at one point in this series, but I don't know.
So hold on, time out. I've been stroking Bobby the whole show. Bobby, come on. Yes. He goes, Miami is going to get dusted. Come on, Bobby. I mean, let's go. Give us a stronger take here that Miami's going to get busted. Or Miami's going to get dusted. Like, come on. They're playing Milwaukee. I mean, everyone thinks they're going to get dusted. Does anyone not think they're going to get dusted?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
Like by dusted, you mean you think it's a?
Yeah, I think it goes 6 or 7.
Oh, that's actually okay.
Yeah.
All right, I amend my take then a little bit. He might have been coming at Tony.
He probably. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah. Kurt, you going to game 3 or 4? I like that. Duncan Robinson. He's still there.
He's still playing.
So let's look at the Milwaukee side real quick. Giannis, same thing with the Stars. Like, you can make a case. Drew, I'm not getting to him at 8,500 versus Miami. Middleton, even less of a chance to get to him at 8K. Well, Brook Lopez, 6,600 against a team like this. We've seen some big Brook Lopez games. He's definitely in play. He's not going to be a core play probably for me or anything, but he is definitely in play. Probably not going to pay 6K for Portis at this point, but Portis will have a game too, like always. Brook or Portis almost always crushes one of them. Hard part is which one's which. Grayson Allen, Carter, again, all these cheaper guys, Connaughton, Ingles, they're all like 4K, and if you're lucky, they'll get you 20 fantasy points or something. If you're not, they'll get you like 12. There's not any real upside in these guys when they have everyone in. There's just nothing there for them. So I don't know. A lot of guys in this game you can play. Honestly, almost the whole game is at least playable, but I don't know if there's any like core plays for me.
Yeah, so the way I agree with you on Drew and Middleton. Like, no chance I can click on the price tags they got there with everyone healthy. I do like the bigs for Milwaukee. I like Lopez. I like Portis. This team, really good rebounding. Miami, they struggled, especially that game against the Hawks. They were getting killed on the glass. They were just getting absolutely owned, offensive, defensive, just getting killed by the Hawks. And what the Bucks, that's what the Bucks are going to do right here, because the Heat can't play big with the Bucks. They're going to try and go small with Bam, obviously, and then, for the like Caleb Martin type guys, Max Struss. And what that's going to do when you have those players out there is you're going to have mismatches. Bobby Portis is going to own those mismatches on the glass. So is Giannis. So is, like even Brook Lopez, who normally isn't getting in there to get rebounds as much. I think they're just going to post him up. They're going to abuse this team inside. And that's where Miami's going to have the struggles. Now, Miami's key to having a chance is the outside shots. They need to stretch it. They need to be able to drive and hit outside shots because they're not going to be able to drive to the rim against this team with so much rim protection. So guys like Hero, Struss, Lowry, so one or two of these guys need to have big games, I think, from the outside for Miami to have a chance. So I'll take shots on Hero and Struss. I think that those two guys are definitely like decent plays. I don't mind your Kevin Love take because he can at least stretch it. He can at least.
I'm not sure he's a game one play either, though.
Yeah,
I think if they have some trouble, like you just broke down why I would play Kevin Love, though. No one's making any shots, and you got to hit something from the perimeter. You just say it happens every year in the playoffs. Hey, what can we do? Spo looks at his assistants. What can we do to get some buckets? Let's get K-Love a span out there.
And
like
K-Love
that's what happens.
Rebound, Tony. K-Love can at least rebound.
He just can't defend anyone is his issue. But
the problem
honestly,
is,
Lopez isn't a terrible matchup for him the way Lopez plays.
Yeah, the problem is, Tony, is Milwaukee tries to keep like Brook, Giannis, Bobby on the court at all, like two of those guys at all times on the court, I think, in the playoffs. And so the size is going to be an issue. I don't know how they're going to do it. I agree with you, though. Maybe it's a game one feel out. They get abused on the glass, and then game 2 or 3, they switch it up and try something different. So
he's 3,700 on FanDuel. Shaw's and the Jets at there. I always talk about those FanDuel prices. You start tempting me when you get down in the 3Ks. That's like the equivalent to 3K on DK is like getting like a 3,700K Love.
Can we say though, on this slate, isn't 4K kind of like 3K?
The way the two slates have been, it's like that.
Like I can't see a 3K dude that I'm looking right now that is like.
The one dude in chat liked Oladipo, but man,
what is he, 30?
37. Their season was on the line last game. Lowry was not doing good, and he still only played 9 minutes. You could roll him out at 3,700 just because of the price.
Didn't he not play against Chicago, like at all?
Oh, was it not? That wasn't the game he played.
I think he played Atlanta.
He didn't play at all the next game, or is it not on the box scores?
I don't think he played last game, if I can remember correctly. But either way, I think he's one of those guys that's a feel-out guy, right, Tony? Like, I think we see him at some point in the series.
Yeah.
At some point, Spo's going to change things up. So, yeah, I don't know about Depot in game 1, but he can't hit shots. They need people out there that can stretch the floor. It's the biggest problem.
He just hasn't been the same since all the injuries.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. But, yeah, all right, so bigs for Milwaukee, and then Miami shooters is how I'm looking at it here. So I will say you can make the case, though, that, like, Jimmy is underpriced at 8,800 as a stud on this slate. I'm probably just not going to play Jimmy. I can't do it, but I'm definitely going to play some Hero. I think he's the one with the biggest upside. I think he's the one they need to lean on more in this series because he has that mid-range. He's got that little floater, and he obviously can shoot from the perimeter. So they need someone like him to get it done. So, all right, let's move it. 2 more games here. We got AP in the chat. I saw him earlier saying the Heat definitely have some of the values. AP, the creator of the flow chart over at Run Pure Sports. You got a little piece of premium content. The flow chart gives you all the plays, pretty much breakdown by, position and defense, against the position, stuff like that. Really easy piece of content. A lot of the content is pretty much a lot of easy pieces for people to understand and be able to implement in their lineups. So the flow chart, an awesome thing for you guys who may be just learning NBA or trying it out for the first time. Go check out the flow chart, one of the premium stuff over at Run Pure Sports. All right, let's go Clippers and Phoenix here. Really excited to watch this game. for sure. I love this series. Paul George being out definitely hurts the Clippers here. Tony, Kawhi Leonard's 10-2. Devin Booker, KD at 9-1 and 9K, I think is really interesting on this slate. You can't tell me at 9K these guys both don't have upside. The problem is they all kind of hurt each other. And then you got Chris Paul at 7-1, Ayton at 6-5. What are we doing here with the Phoenix side? Let's go Phoenix first.
Yeah, I mean, the prices look pretty fair for all of these guys. I like Booker the best. I just feel like when they've been healthy, I feel like even though KD's there, I still feel like Booker's like their offensive spark plug. I think KD will take just a little bit of a more passive role. Yeah, when the series and the games get on the line, that's different. But like throughout the flow of the game, I think they want to get Booker going more. Like KD can always get it going. He's been here a million times. Booker, not as much playoff success. I think they want to get him cooking a little bit. So I like Booker, but again, we're still falling into the price points where, man, it's just hard to pay up for guys, especially on a team where you have three guys that are going to soak up usage and Ayton's going to get those roles. I have a hard time with it on these teams with this many guys, but yeah, they're all fairly priced. At least the prices aren't egregious, like 10-5 for Durant, 10 something for Booker. At least we don't got that. But man, Chris Paul's going to crush. I think you said it yesterday's show or one of the shows this week. Like with Booker and Durant there, Ayton rolling to the hoop. I mean, Chris Paul's going to have a big playoffs, assuming he stays healthy. And 7,100. I don't know. It can fall in those mid-tier builds, kind of like Dinwiddie and Garland did yesterday, where the optimizers were. Chris Paul can, even though I don't think he has a ton of upside today, I do think that he could get us like 43 or something, which is huge at 7,100. So I think all these guys are decent. I don't really want to go to the cheap guys in this spot. I mean, Okogie 5K, Craig 45. I'd rather take chances on different teams with these cheap prices, just the way it goes. But Ayton, you can definitely play. He kind of falls in that mid-range bucket too, 6,500. I don't think a ton of upside, but good play. And then the Clippers side, Kawhi, yeah, absolutely you can play Kawhi. He's going to get all the usage, everything there. People are going to want to make something out of Westbrook, just because he's going against KD, Chris Paul, he's had some rivalries with over the years. But, man, 8,200, Phoenix is going to be good on defense. That's the underrated part about Phoenix. They're going to clamp people in the playoffs. I can promise you. With Ayton and KD, all that size, Chris Paul and Booker are good enough defenders. Even as Chris Paul gets older, he still knows the way to play D. I think they're going to smother people. And you just – the Clippers, this is definitely a feel-out game. I mean, they're going to go deep into this bench, and I'm not playing Westbrook. I can't pay 5,700 for Powell, 54 for – definitely not playing Zubac, Big Zoo, our boy. Not a good spot for him. But then you get to the interesting part, like Gordon, Bones, even Plumlee because he's cheap, Batum, Terrence Mann, all these guys are in the 4Ks. On a slate where there's no value. And again, what team was I talking about? The Lakers, where they had a bunch of those cheap guys. I don't know which ones of these guys. Like, if they need offense, it could be Bones. If they need more defense, it could be Batum hitting open shots. Batum feels like a playoff guy where he could definitely play a role here for 4,800. I do think one or two of these guys has big games. Question is, who is it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like Norman Powell needs to be good in this series. I think the Clippers also, the way they've had success in the playoffs in other years past, they go small, right, Tony? I think they need to find a way, find a small ball lineup that works. I don't think Big Zoo and Mason are going to get it done in this series.
I agree with that. I mean,
I just don't think
you're wasting a spot. You got to try to do something to be different. And yeah, make
you're not winning against
somebody.
that team with Ayton going big. You're not. That's not going to happen, especially without. So I think you got to go the opposite way, right? And go just completely small and hope that like Batum, Morris, Covington, who am I might be missing one other guy, but
Definitely not Covington.
well, I'm saying though, you got to try out different lineups. You got to try out.
The problem with him though is he's legitimately like, I just pulled the thing. I deleted a few of the guys. He's literally like 12 deep or something.
I know. I'm just saying in this series, don't
is he
be shocked.
3K? How much is he?
He's 3.5.
Yeah, so at least we get the 3K price point.
I don't know if he plays in this game here. I'm just saying in the series, don't be shocked if they end up going to him he might be a feel out guy, like a game 3 or something like that, where he comes in off the bench and we haven't seen him in the first 2 games. So he's probably not a game 1 guy, but yeah, I think they're going to have to feel it out. And then I like your take on like, playing guys like maybe taking a shot on a Bones or an Eric Gordon. I do feel like they lean more to the experienced guys, or at least try to in game 1 with like the Eric Gordons, the Powells, but Bones has at least upside. And if they're struggling to score, he can score. Like he can definitely get a bucket. So yeah, I'm probably looking at those 3 guys.
Gordon's going to chuck too. The one dude in chat said he's going to shoot 10-3. I agree. He's going to get shots. The question is, do they go in? But he can have a Max Struss game where he hits 8 threes or something. I can see that.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, that's the thing. Chris Paul, I'm definitely going to play some Chris Paul. I was just looking at what the odds, plus 186, Chris Paul to double in Phoenix to win on FanDuel at plus 186. I do like Phoenix to win here, and I do like Chris Paul to double. It's probably something too where he only scores like 12 points, but I think he gets like 15 assists. Like I think it's one of those games
in the playoffs, like tons.
Yeah, the ball's going through him, and with Ayton rolling, you're either leaving Ayton, you're leaving a bunny jumper for Chris Paul, or Booker or Durant somewhere on the court for some type of shot. So it's just a tough team to cover, and you got to pick your spots. So I definitely think Chris Paul is going to need to be aggressive. He's going to need to make plays for this team, and I think we see it here. But Kevin Durant at 9, I get what you're saying about Booker, but my God, when I see Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in the same pricing tier together, I'm just like, how do I click Booker over like KD at 9?
Always, I'm going to agree with you, except when Kawhi's on that other side too.
I know that. Is that
and it doesn't mean Durant's not gonna, Durant's definitely going to outscore him a few of the games, 100%. But
the one thing I agree with you on is I do think Durant can be more passive early in games and in series than Booker. I do think Booker might be that's the take that I agree with you, I think, on. So maybe I should just change my stance, even though KD at 9K and Booker, I should go KD, but I think you're right about that. I think KD is more team, get my guys involved, and when the game's on the line, give me the ball. That's all I ask for, right? Like if we need to make a shot, get me the ball and I'll score. But yeah, that's maybe I should just go more Booker. But yeah, I like the mid-tier guys. We're going to get to the next game where I think the studs from the next game, I'm going to have the most intrigue in, where we get to Minnesota and Denver here. And Tony, anything else on the Clippers and Phoenix before we move on to the last game?
No.
All right, let's do it. Minnesota coming in here in Denver against Tony's Nuggets. I mean, this is the game I definitely want to focus in on. I love Jamal Murray at 7'6". He's going to fit mid-tier builds, kind of like how like the Dinwiddie Garland did, but I think he's a better play than both those guys were yesterday, and right around the same like pricing tier too. So 7'6" for Jamal, I'm definitely going to have some interest in. You got Jokic at 11.5. He's the highest price guy on the entire slate. I think he is the best stud on the entire slate, but I mean, you can make the case Giannis. I'm not going to like argue too much about Giannis Jokic. I think they're both pretty close. And then you got Ant at 8.7, which I think is a good price tag for him. I think that's fair. Towns at 8.3 is maybe a little underpriced, But Rudy Gobert, I think he's going to play like he played last game. Played 33 minutes with his back spasms, whatever you want to call it. He was fine. He looked fine. So 7,300 for him. Kyle Anderson at 7K, a little priced up with Rudy Gobert in there. And then you get the guys like Aaron Gordon at 6'9", who that seems like a high price tag for Aaron Gordon. Now, Aaron Gordon does have upside, but 6,900 is a high price. I will just say, like, Mitch Rob last slate was 6,900. There was no way I was touching Mitch Rob on that slate. Like, Aaron Gordon's a way better play than, like, a Mitch Rob from yesterday. Like, he at least has upside. But it does feel like I'm overpaying. Mike Conley, 6'4", feels like a decent tag for a guy like Mike Conley. I think that's a perfect mid-tier play, kind of like how Marcus Smart was yesterday, 62. MPJ at 6,200. I think he's going to stroke a lot. You're going to have to give up some at the 3. I think he's going to have some open jumpers in the playoffs. 6,200 seems fair. Bruce Brown, I'm not paying 5,800 for. Torian Prince, 5,300. Tony, do we think they go Nah again? I mean, Nah looked good out there.
I don't see why they wouldn't. I'd be stunned if they don't roll that same team.
So Nah looked really good out there, and he's 4K. Like, let's just start here. Is Nah starting? Is he just like the play you're just pushing in first, right?
I just don't see how you don't play him. I mean, obviously we could get unlucky and he not start. It's not a lock that he starts, but man, he started their win or die game and they didn't roll, but he played good. And it just makes sense when you look at their build. Like, it makes too much sense. So I think he for sure starts. And the good part is there's no value on the slate, and he's 4K. And on top of it, he doesn't project. Like, let me see. Across the industry, he doesn't project like that amazing. Like, I know on SaberSim, even they only got him at like 17. Do we have I don't see we don't have our projections up yet, but either way, he'll probably end up popping, but it's the last game. Same thing happened yesterday. The last game was clearly the best game, and the ownerships didn't get high enough, I don't think. And like some of these plays, I mean, Nah being the first one, I just have to play him. I mean, no matter what happens, I have to play him. I think he starts and he's 4K, and I think he matches up pretty decent with Denver. It's just a good spot. But all these prices, I mean, just to compound on it, I mean, Cat at 8,300 is probably my favorite play, I guess. And it's funny because we've always hated Cat, me and you. But 8,300 is different than hating him at 10.3 or 9,800. Like 8,300, we only need, and it's a floor slate on top of it. We only need 40 from the guy. Like, it's a good matchup for them. I like Cat a ton in this spot, and Ant too at 8,700. I don't like Ant as much as Cat, but he's a good price. You're probably not going to be able to play both. You probably wouldn't want to play both of them, but I like Cat more. You can play both, and then even Gobert, man. I don't want to play him, but he's 7,300. That price is not that high for a guy that's going to get rebounds. He's going to get probably a double-double. I don't know. So Kyle Anderson's the guy I just can't play when Gobert's in at 7K at least. As he works down cheaper, then I can get him. I bet he'll get cheaper as the playoffs go on here. But like last game, for example, 32 minutes still, but only 26 fantasy points. He shot 2 for 3 from the arc, even 6 boards, 4 assists, a block. You can play him, but I'm not paying 7K on a tight price slate. I'm just not. There's no way I'm paying 7K for Kyle Anderson. I'll just say it. So Conley's been amazing in both of the playing games. He was 44 minutes the first game and then 30 minutes the second game, but second game was a blowout. He would have got 38 minutes, I bet, if that game was close. So
35, 38.
Yeah, 35, 38 minutes, and he still did good. So I actually think, again, we're leaning more mid-tier. it's free show, and I like taking care of our free people here and there, like Conley and Nah and Cat for that part. Very hard for me not to start my teams with those three guys. I'll just be honest, even as a Denver fan. And I think those three are very good plays. And then you look at the Denver side, and I agree with your takes. I mean, Jamal, good price, 7,600, similar to yesterday. Dinwiddie, Garland, I think he's a very good price. I would love to play Yoke. If I could find a build that I fit Yoke, I would play him. But, I mean, am I really going to get up to 11-5 on this slate?
God, Yoke's numbers against Minnesota are pretty damn good too. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a good game. It's just, I mean, can you fit 11-5 is the question. You're gonna have to gamble on a few of the cheaper guys to make that happen. But no problem whatsoever. If you get on Yoke, absolutely. Gordon, I agree with you, 69. I don't like it, but I mean, he's got 45, 50-point upside. He could get it, but I won't play him more than likely at 69. Definitely not playing MPJ. I forget what you said about him, actually, but I mean, he would have to hit 8 threes to even pay off this tag. I think he's just not going to do anything. I can see him getting who are you talking about? Like, I just don't.
Yeah, he'd have to hit a lot of threes.
He just needs to be a little cheaper. Like if he was 5,200 instead of 62,
I'd play him.
Yeah, he'd be a good play. It's just really hard for him. And we did just see it with Monk where he went off, but I just don't see it. You're not playing Bruce Brown. KCP, mid-range, I mean, maybe. Christian Brown, he has been stealing minutes from all these wings. But you get to the playoffs where Mike Malone, we've seen it. I follow Denver as close as anybody. It gets to these games, and he could just randomly like DNP today or something. I don't think he will because he's been getting more run, but he could. It's the way Mike Malone coaches, which brings me to my next point. We don't have any value. Jeff Green is 3,700, Uncle Jeff. And if you want to play a guy like Yoke, I think you should play a guy like Jeff Green just because of the way it kind of goes together. And I know Jeff Green's going to get some run. He's got legs still. He's a veteran. I actually like Jeff Green a decent amount, but it's more price point based. Like I think he can get us 15 to 20, which is huge at 3,700 because it gets us up to some of those studs on the slate. And honestly, how can Jeff Green really hurt me as long as he plays? If he gets in there and plays 14 minutes,
I mean, he's going to play. Like, he's going to play. Mike Malone leans on the veterans, right?
Definitely going to play.
Yeah. So I'm actually with you on the Jeff Greens. And I never play the Jeff Green types, but it's just, a different slate. It's the playoffs. So I could get on board. There's no value. Yeah, 3.7K on FanDuel, 3.7K on DK. I can definitely play if he's getting me to like the stud, like Tony's talking about, like the Jokic or the Giannis type plays. The one thing I'll push back. So I do, if I got to choose between Ant or Cat, because I agree you probably can't play them both. I lean Ant. I just think Ant.
You love Ant. Like Ant's your favorite. God, you love Ant.
It's not about being my favorite. I think that Ant just has more upside in the tank than Cat does. I think Cat can get you, like 50 or 55, and that's great. But I think Ant can get you like 65 on a great game. Like he's been bad, Tony. He hasn't even been that good, and he still can get. He got 48 in the last game, and it was a blowout. Like what? He can get you 60. You don't think Ant can give you 60?
60?
You don't think Ant can get 60 on a playoff slate?
No.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. I don't like Ant as much as other people.
I'll take Ant over Towns. Towns is gonna get Aaron Gordon's gonna friggin' bully him. Like I'll take him. Give me Ant all day over Karl Anthony Towns. But the point is, I like this game. I want to be heavy on this game, so I like the tank. The idea of saying like, give me a Jamal with an Ant or a Jamal with a Towns. Like if you're 150ing, I do think getting some good exposure to this game is a good idea, and being
Yeah.
heavier on some of those guys. I would make a rule, though, probably don't have Carl and Ant together. I think it's a good rule, like play one, because like we saw in the last slate, I think you could see it again where like 8 or 9K guy on the winner with a bunch of 7, 6, 5, could easily be the winner there. So I do like the idea or rule on this. Tony, do you think you can make a rule like no more than 2 of the 8 and up range on any team?
I mean, I think it's a pretty good rule. We're still going to have a couple slates where we get blowouts and stuff, but
yeah,
I don't think you need to. I mean, there's just not, unless you just full stack it would be my only like exception to that. Like say you just want to, just say you think the first 3 games don't do much, which is going to happen during the playoffs. Could happen today even, just looking at the 3 games. I clearly like the late game too, like you. Like if you full stack the late game, then you could go and play those 2. But if you're building a normal build, like there's just no reason to.
My man over here, Little Trob, he's telling me Ant ain't getting 60. Well, thank you, Little Trob. Ant ain't getting 60. Okay, whatever. I mean, my point is I think he has the upside to get 60. I don't know about Cat. I think Cat maybe like 50, 55, I think is probably right where he should be. But I think Ant's just a little more better of a tournament player. I think his ceiling's a little higher is my point to it. But we'll see. Yeah, anyone else that we're missing? I think we hit on most of these plays here. Like these teams are going to tighten up for sure. We already seen what Minnesota is going to do. So that's another reason to be heavier on the Minnesota side in general. We kind of already know what they're going to do, right, Tony?
I mean, they're definitely my favorite team of the day for sure. Even if because it's game 1, even if they extend a little bit more, they're still tighter than the other teams.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think they'll go back to Noel. I don't think he played in the last game, at least not much at all. If he did he even get in?
Who?
Noel, the Jalen Noel. Yeah, he didn't even play.
He played the first one.
The first game, and then Rivers played 3 minutes in the second game, and he didn't.
And the big difference that Nah played 37.
Yeah,
Gobert played 30.
I mean, obviously Nah, I don't think plays 37, but he doesn't need to. I think they'll go a little deeper, but they're still not going to go as deep as these other teams because they can't, honestly. They just don't have good enough rotation pieces. They're just not deep. So these guys, I think Minnesota is clearly the best team. How much is Rivers? They're talking about him in chat.
Oh, no. We're not doing this again.
He is. I just wanted to see if he was the Stone Men 3K. I just wanted to see that.
Yeah, he is. He's Stone Men 3K. So, yeah, I mean, you can do it if you want. I mean, it's fine here. But, hey, I agree with you. This game is going to be fun. I think for fantasy, it's going to be really good. Just please don't blow out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
which it definitely could blow out. Minnesota just played 2 play-in games, used a lot of energy. Could go the other way, too. Denver's been sitting for a minute. Maybe Minnesota comes in and smacks them in game 1. I as a Denver fan, the game I'm most worried about is probably game 1, where it's a feel-out game. As the series gets going, I like Denver more and more. I'm not like crazy confident Denver smacks them today. I'm not.
The only thing that scares me is I feel like Yoke and Murray and I feel like this team, they like needed that rest time, that rest period, like where they got a few games off because they were kind of hurting down the stretch a little bit. Especially like Jamal, right? Like get his mind right, make sure he's feeling perfect.
All those dudes, Gordon even needed a little rest.
So Reggie Jackson, Chris is asking in the chat. I think Reggie Jackson, I don't know if he plays, but I think he's the example of like what Tony was talking about with a guy like Braun. Like, does Malone let Braun run in the playoffs, or does he try to lean on a veteran like Reggie for like 10 minutes or 12 minutes?
I don't know. I mean, Reggie, obviously, is he 3K?
He's 3-5.
I do think Denver goes deep. I think they play deep this first game, like a true feel-out game. Like all those mid-tier guys are tough, like Bruce Brown, KCP. as the series goes, I'll like them more. I think they play 10, 11, 12 guys, Denver. I do. In the first game, I think they really go deep.
All right, there you go. There's the take there. What's up, Steven, in chat? I think we hit all 4 games, Tony, and did it in under an hour and a half. I mean, pretty good job. I will just say by me for not rambling on for longer than an hour and a half, but I'll say that. And I didn't force anyone to go to my Twitter. If you want to go to my Twitter and follow me,
try to at least get another follower. I mean, try to scoop one more up.
No. I already did that. I can't do the same thing 2 days in a row, Tony. I'm just, I think you should do one. I think you should do a giveaway.
I'm just laughing that on our Twitter, I got TweetDeck up on the left, and I always know who's tweeting from our main Run Pure account. There's a Premier League tweet. I mean, that if I could bet my life that Rubio sent that tweet from the Run Pure account. Who in the world with wild swings in the Premier League title race? Arsenal. I mean, that
I didn't know it was
all in on that.
I didn't know there was a title race or matchup or whatever.
No one did except Rubio.
Rubio, I love Rubio. He does wear soccer jerseys all the time, and then he expects people to know what they are. Tony's yesterday we're in here. Rubio's the silent one, getting rid of all the haters, in the back end. And Tony goes, "What are you wearing right now?" And Rubio's like, "It's a soccer shirt, duh."
This is how big of a donkey JSU is, Steven. He tells you to follow. He doesn't even say what his handle is. That's how bad he is at promoting.
No, that's bullshit. Rewind the tape. Steven, rewind the tape. I said at JSU Rab on Twitter if you want to follow. I said that. So that's someone in chat back me up.
He said it. I don't know. We might have to go to the tape. One more follow, though. You got it.
Tony, here's a way to get a follower right here. If someone goes to the tape, tells us who said it, I swear to God, I said it 2 minutes ago too.
It needs to be like that commercial where they go to the replay booth and then they I need to challenge that.
Yeah, I want to challenge. Where's my flag? I used to have a yellow flag on my desk. I just throw randomly.
Oh, Benny Hanna's got your notifications on even. So when you tweet once a year, that one time a year when it comes, yesterday he saw that MMA tweet because he was like, "Oh, JSU's tweeting."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Is Benny Hanna a member? Is he a member of Run Pure Sports?
I mean, I want to eat Benny Hanna tonight.
What's Benny? Is it a restaurant?
You never heard of Benny Hanna? Isn't that a restaurant? No. Yeah, it is. Come on, Chad, help me out. Benny Hanna's a restaurant, right?
I've never heard of it.
I love Benny Hanna. I think that's what it's called.
Are there any in Massachusetts? I've never heard of that.
Well, I don't live there, so I don't know.
Says,
come on, chat. Benny Hanna, right? It's a restaurant, right? I'm almost positive. I've eaten there a bunch of times. It's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is?
Nikia. I know you in chat. Yeah. I've seen you. All right. Boom. It's got my notifications up. Oh, we got to give you some swag. What do you want? You want a hat? What do you want? I just wanted to make sure you remember. Benny Hanna in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Benny Hanna gets the gear today.
Yeah.
Even if he's not a member, he gets the gear.
She's a member. It's Nikia in chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely some gear.
What do you want? You want a hat? You want a sweatshirt? What do you want? Just literally DM Amber Niehaus. If you want a hat, you can get a hat. Or if you want to, what do we got, Tony? T-shirts?
Whatever they want. Yeah, we got a little of everything depending on the size.
Set a hat, hoodie, whatever. Hat and a hoodie. All right.
Hat and a hoodie. You giving away hoodies now too? You get people JSU's being generous.
Hat or hoodie. Which one do you want? Just DM. Which one do you want? Hat or hoodie? You got to make the choice. I agree with AP.
Yeah. Who's our plays of the day here? What are we doing?
All right, let's do it. What did we give out yesterday? Clay and Draymond, they were fine. Nothing special, right? They were fine though, decent.
Draymond, I got to do better than Draymond was so chalky.
All right, hoodie. All right, hoodie it is. Hit up Amber Niehaus. Send her your info and your size. She'll hook you up on Twitter, Amber Niehaus. Let's see
That
here, Tony.
it's a she. Then. Yeah,
I
she's
know
already
it's a chick. It's a chick.
already got the racerback tank. Yeah, I like that. We only got like one piece of chick gear, but the hoodies go good on anybody.
Don't you worry about it, Travis. Yeah, how many people have your notifications up, Mangone? Take that, baby. I got one. Travis hates to see it right now. No one makes fun of my Twitter more than Tony and Travis, actually. You guys should do a show and
I'm just happy Travis woke up before the end of our show.
Thanks for watching, Mangone. All right, Tony, what do we got here? Workbench play. I mean,
God, I got to get a lower owned one today because yesterday, I mean, Draymond was like almost 50% owned. I can't give away a 50% owned like workbench play.
He did fit a lot of builds.
I got to do better than that though. I got to get a little creative here on the free show. Let me look here. Who? I mean, I like the Minnesota guys, but they're all going to be chalky. Denver
is Ant going to be chalky too? They're all going to be chalky.
I mean, I don't think Ant will be that high owned, but the three I like the best have to be pretty high. I mean, Conley and maybe Conley's not that high at 6,400. I want like a really creative guy. I'm trying to. If you got one, go ahead because I'm looking here I'm trying to get creative. Definitely not Xavier Tillman butthole. I mean, Tillman's a decent play. I just not for my play of the day.
Oh, X-Man. A few people like X-Man I'm seeing in chat.
Oh, I like that. It sounds better as X-Man. I do like the sound of that.
Tony, were you an X-Man guy? You liked X-Man?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, that didn't seem like a big T thing over here. Mangone, just woke up listening to Winners while I wait. So what are you listening to us on like 3X or 2X or whatever? How do you get this far if he probably just turned it on. So are you going to watch the whole show from the start, Mangone, after we finish? That's the real question, Tony. What do you think?
Yeah, no way he watches the whole thing.
Oh, hate to see it, Mangone. Hate to see it. All right. Should I go while you
You know what? I got to get creative because anyone can give these mid-tier guys that everyone likes. So I think the guy no one's going to play that I like more than the field that fits my build too. And it could even honestly get you up to one stud like Yoke or somebody. But Uncle Jeff, I'm going to go Uncle Jeff at 3,700. I don't think he has like crazy upside by any means, but I think he can get me 20. I think we could see a little vintage Uncle Jeff here. And I mean, there's no way I'm Nico Batum. Yeah, I'm Jeff Green, Uncle Jeff for me.
I mean, they're both old. One's just 37. If Nico Batum was 37,
if he was 30, I would like him even more.
Yeah, you would definitely be in there.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I do like you going like off the beaten path.
I don't want to give a chalky play. It's a free show. I got to get a little creative.
I like it. I like the idea anyways.
A little drop. If Jeff gets me 20, I'll call him Unc for life. The good part about Uncle Jeff that if you play him, he ain't going to kill you. He's going to play 14 minutes. Even if he sucks and gets you like 8, you're not in. That's not killing you. So I feel good about Uncle Jeff.
What I got a question for you. What do we got on like Bobby and Brooke? Are they going to be popular?
I don't see how they can be, but
because I think one of those dudes definitely.
Bobby definitely isn't going to be. I mean, he doesn't project good.
I think one of those dudes definitely smashed. All right, I do like Tony's idea of giving a shitter.
Yeah, it makes it funner. Oh, anyone could come on and give Ant or Cat or friggin' Nah.
I mean,
makes it funner to give a little creative on these 4-1. Yeah, give something good. Give a doozy in there.
Give a doozy in there.
Yeah. God, right. John Tucker, don't tempt me. That was who I wanted. I wanted Beasley, but they talked me out of him. Man, 4,200.
I love how you said they. Like they. Who's they?
You and whoever else was in chat.
Oh, you get swayed by 3 people? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, all the 3 people that are better than me. Definitely not Oladipo, John.
That's not the big T I know. I mean,
I should have made it Austin Rivers just to own JSU.
Oh no,
3K.
Can we have one like what's it called, like veto or whatever it's called? Like we can just veto one play. Like you can't play Austin Rivers. Just no way. All right. The problem is,
I just gotta get this dude some gear. I just found someone I'm getting some gear to. He sent me a tweet. Probably watching right now. Tyler Coleman. He said, "How do we order swag, Big T? I want to rep Run Pure Sports. I'm a 300-pound guy. Do you have sweaters available? I'm going to ship one and take a pic wearing the gear." I got news for you. I'm not far off the 300 these days. I'm about 280, and I got some gear that fits me. 275, 280. I'm fat.
Who are you talking to again where you were asking for gear? They're like, I think I have Big T size or whatever. Who was that? Who was that? Like, I can't remember. It was Drew. It was
Drew was throwing the little needle in at me.
I did like him needling you though. That was fun. All right. You know what? I think they're going to need this guy in the playoffs because I think they're going to need his offense a little bit. I think Bones is interesting. I don't think anyone's going to play Bones. I do think he's going to get – I think they're just going to need him to get some run. I think he's priced to the point where I don't know if people go to him. So I'm going to give Bones as like my low-owned play. And, we'll go from there. So you got Uncle Jeff. Uncle Jeff, whew.
Yeah, I don't feel confident. I don't feel like crazy confident, but I do think I'm probably going to use him, though, because I want to get up to one stud, and I don't like the mid-range as much as I did yesterday. So
You don't like the mid-range at all?
I'm okay with them. Like, I like the late game. I want to play those guys in the late game. There's no one else on the slate that I feel like I have to have besides those late game guys. So, I mean, I don't know.
Like, Gordon's going to be chalky. Gordon's going to get ownership at that price tag. He'll get ownership at that price tag.
Eric Gordon, yeah. I mean, he definitely should.
We were looking for.
I like Eric Gordon, though. Like, I think if he makes shots.
I like him, too. We're trying to find guys that no one's going to really look at or play. Like, that was the
and Xavier Tillman's going to be super popular, too, just looking at, like, the projections. So, like.
Yeah, I mean. You already kind of know where we're looking at, though, in the mid-tier anyways, because we already talked about it. So, I mean, that's it.
It's funny the differences in, like, sites, though, because I always like to look all around the industry. Xavier Tillman's projections are widely different. Like, you got – so just for example, like SaberSim, 29. Us, we got them at, like, 27. RG's got them at 19 on RG. So – you just got different numbers. If you that's one way you can like build teams too, is I like to do that. So if I see the projections are way higher with like SaberSim and RPS projections, I like to kind of lean into that a little bit where it's much higher. So maybe Tillman is a better play than I thought. If his projections actually only 19, it's only 19 on RG, but I don't know if it's updated. And some of the other sites, as they get them up too, if he's that low everywhere, like he'll be a better play than I thought. I like to lean into that kind of stuff.
I mean, he looks like
we want the good plays, Brandon. We talked about the whole freaking slate. I said everybody I like the late game. I think I gave three. I basically gave 3 plays of the day anyway.
Tony gave 3.
Cat, Conley were the 3 good plays. Like I want to play those 3 for sure.
And I like those 2 and Ant.
I mean, I love Minnesota and Gobert. I think you can play 4 Minnesota guys. I do, and I agree with you though. I wouldn't want to play Cat and Ant, but I could play Ant and Gobert with those 2 guards.
Make that a rule. Like, I think I'm going to make that a rule. Like, don't play them together. Like, you can play them. And
I want at least 3 Minnesota on all my teams as a rule, too. I want 3 Minnesota for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I want someone from Denver on the other side. Like, that's the way. I think Denver, 1 or 2 of these guys are going to have big games. So, we'll see. All right, that's going to do it, though. You got the good plays. You got the shit plays. You got all the plays. If you want more plays, though, come on over to Run Pure Sports. Check out the content we got. Hit the thumbs up as you leave here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as we got more shows later today. 12 o'clock MLB show, giving winners for the baseball slate that's coming up. We got the NASCAR show later on, and all the winners in the Discord on the site. Code Big T44, code Bobby15, whatever works and gets you on the site. Hit us up, tweet at us at JSURab, at Big T44. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys later. We're out. Peace.